I came here and I know it's July '81, and I was living in Morris House. It's a psychiatric boarding house at 16th and Cypress, and which is just like it was at the other MPA at 6th and U.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how I got involved. So,
Yeah. So your first involvement was with one of the houses of MPA
Yeah,
then?
yeah, and then I just started coming, and I was also, when I moved out of Morris House, I moved into an MPA satellite house at 6th and U, just by the old drop-in too. I was there for, I just got out of UBC, I was like 18, and I moved in, no, that was the first time, but when I was 21, I moved into Morris House, and I moved into one of their houses. A couple of them, but one of them that one time.
And so, what year was that when you were 21?
1980. I turned 21 at the end of 81. I mean, yeah, so it's like, it's confusing, but December.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
And so, Morrison, what was the house called?
It was a psychiatric boarding house. There's about, I don't know, 10 people there, and it was like live-in, and they had staff that ran it and stuff.
Okay, and that was from MPA as well?
I think so, yeah. And there was another one connected to it, Loma House.
Okay.
Which is just over here, was over here.
Yeah. Right on Burrard, you mean?
Yeah, the Morris House,
That's hard. Yeah.
The one I just said, anyway.
Yeah.
That's at 16th, it was 16th interview, so it was a really nice house, had like all
And
these
how
nice
had
stained
you
glass
come
windows
to
and
the
everything.
Morrison house? Because that was your first.
I was in UBC hospital, and they sent me there after. First time I was in the psych hospital, I was 18. Overdose, really bad.
Okay.
And then when I was 21, I ended up again, and I went to Morris House, and it was a pretty good place. It was nice.
And that was some of the nurses or the social workers that helped you to sort of go there? Or
I don't
remember
that.
so well.
I'm sure I talked to a social worker, but I don't remember.
Yeah. But they had that idea that could be a house for you that might work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so you moved there, and you said the psychiatric boarding home, so you got a room there, or?
Yeah, you got a room, everyone had a room, not, sometimes you shared, but I had a room, it was a nice room, big room, and they had like outings, you go bowling, and then, all those stuff like that, it was pretty good.
And who worked there? Were the staff people who had all experienced mental health or problems?
I guess. I don't know.
Or was the staff as well that nurses or was it a mix of people who?
I don't know what they were trained in, but they were there. They had somebody there 24/7.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. And then then you learned there about this resource center, or 6th and U. That was the first resource center of MPA, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was 6th and U. It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. Was that new for you, this kind of a drop-in center?
Yeah. Like I was in adult hospital since I was 18, but MPA was the first place I went. Went and I hung around, and I didn't feel out of place. I could, talk or not talk, and if I was depressed, people didn't care. They accepted it where they are, same as they do now, right? So
Yeah.
I like it.
And so you stayed perhaps there for quite some time then?
I stayed there, I think it was like a year or so. At least a year. It was 20, then I was about 22 when I moved in to MPA satellite housing.
Okay.
That was a nice place too. Top floor of this house. The house is
It's still there?
I go by it, but it's gone now.
Okay.
But the corner store is still there. MPA Rock is still there, so if you guys wanna check that out, it's still got the big MPA Rock at the corner of 6th and U is still there. The building's still there too.
We need to go there.
There's, I think there's MPA people living in it, because I always see them out there, but the rock is still out there, exactly the way it was.
And what does that rock mean? What is it
It's been there since '81, and the building is exactly the same as it was, like you could go in, except for it's apartments now, but if you go in like right by the rock, that's where the main place of the MPA was. It's still there, the whole building hasn't changed, so it's kinda cool.
And so when you go back, or when we sort of, I'm curious about that time in the 1980s because I was not at all around here. So what was the drop-in like then?
It was kind of nice. You could smoke anywhere you wanted.
It's different now then, eh?
Yeah, they didn't have as much. Like now they have like food and stuff here now. They didn't have as much. They just had some outings. They had camping trips, which were really good then. And they're still good now, but they were fun.
Did you go with those trips?
Yeah, I went on the camping trip, and I had this pet rat. I remember that MPA camping trip, the first one I went on, because I had this pet rat I had for like 3 years, and we went camping with MPA, and the water thing fell over, which he's 3 years old. It probably would have died anyway, and it was cold, and all the guys from MPA, the camping trip, they all made a little funeral for me because I was bobbling, right? So they made a little funeral and set up a little thing for a little rat, right? And that's what I remember the most for the camping trip, besides the food and awesome and everything. But that's what I remember.
That's stay with you.
Yeah, it was really
It was
nice.
important to you. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really helped.
Yeah. And were you also, because what we have learned about, some of the people told us that MPA was a lot, that people participated in the organization. Did you do some work with them? Or?
Yeah, I was actually, on this one, I was on-call coordinator for like 8 years. So it was kind of fun. I made like $13.33 an hour back in '84. Apparently they don't make much more now. So
No,
it's
that
pretty
hasn't
good.
changed too much.
Yeah. So
That's what I learned from some people, that it was quite generous at that point,
Yeah.
how much funding there was.
And back then you can work like, sometimes I work a double shift, so I'd get double time and a half, so it was kind of, yeah.
And the call-in coordinator, what
The same as they do now, it's the exact same thing.
what is the responsibility? What do we need to do?
Well, you just make sure everybody stays out of trouble, same as they do now, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I
And you
did
were
pretty
that
good.
in the drop-in center, or where were you at?
In the drop-in, yeah. We got good reference letters and stuff, so it was good. I did that for 8 years.
And so you had experience that was also then helpful for other people then, or?
Yeah, I get along with pretty well everybody. And, there's like, I ended up having to ban one guy because he ripped something out of a book I had or something, and I remember that the most because I had to call the police because he wouldn't leave, and they told me we can't make him leave, and they said unless you tap him on the shoulder and tell him he has to leave, and then if he doesn't go,
Oh, wow.
you know, so that was really
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you manage to do that?
Yeah, I thought that was really stupid. They did. I still know him. He's a good friend, but it's just having a bad day, right? We all did, so it was fun. And I
So
used
for 8 years is quite some time then as
yeah,
well.
I think 8 years. It was like 84, maybe 4 years. I don't know. I'll have to look. And then they have the MPA newsletter back then. I wrote a bunch of poems and had it in there and stuff. So I still have those.
Good for you, yeah. Is that in a nutshell? Is that the?
Yeah, I kept them. I don't know why I kept those ones. And pretty good.
And so you
I do.
helped to make that as well. Was that
No,
made in the drop-in center, or?
They made it, I don't know where they make it, upstairs or something, I guess. It was a long time ago. They still make them, so I don't know where they do them now, but I haven't done any lately. But they have art shows and stuff, so I did art. I used to hang around the coast for a few years, and they were doing art, so MPA did one, and they sold some pictures through MPA and some through Coast. One of them was supposed to be at the UBC Psych Ward. It's a big, huge one.
Okay.
There's a big eye, you guys see it there? It's like,
I should have a look there because
it's a
that's
big
where I
huge eye,
work.
I sold it
Yeah.
for like $300 or something. So that's what, I haven't gone there to see it. But that's who they bought it. or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, so it was kinda nice.
And did you do that during the day there as well? Did you make
Yeah,
art?
I do that on pencil crayons, so that's what I like the best.
And what other activities did happened in the drop-in?
Now or then? Then?
Then,
So far ago.
was it then different? And you said, yeah, they still do that now, but do you
Yeah.
have seen some changes over time?
Yeah, 'cause now they go like, we went berry picking here a couple weeks ago, got a bunch of strawberries. They did it stuff back then, but I didn't do as much back then. I was into drinking and drugs, so never really did much. Just hung around.
Yeah,
No, I don't do either, so
yeah.
I go with her. She actually went berry picking with us, so it was nice.
And so who did you, were there a group of people who worked as staff member then as well? Did they also the work come from the MPA community or?
Back then there was more MPA people that were staff. Like even when I started here in '84, it was mostly MPA people, whereas now they're coming from everywhere. So it's changing, but there
Yeah,
was
different.
more MPAs was the staff back then.
And that how was that also how you got the job? Was that some decision from other MPA members, or how did that work that you got the job?
I don't remember how I got it. I think it just, well, I started with like just doing like on call and stuff, and then it got more like me and this one guy, Dave. I haven't seen him here lately, but he and I used to work all the time, and I had permanent weekends for a little bit, but I seniority lost, so I lost. But other than that, I don't know. Back then.
And have you moved into different places with you're now, you said through the cattle, but have you moved in different places from MPA or?
Yeah, I was in two MPA boarding houses, not their satellite housing, but boarding houses. One was at 11th and Fraser, and I was I don't know, 23, 24 or something. And I remember one staff was Suzanne something. She was staff there. And
Yeah.
I didn't really do much there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just too sick to do anything, so I don't remember too much about that one. But it was a.
Is that how it went for you, that you were then hard and working and then you were sick? And
Yeah.
so it went through these waves or how, cycles or how?
Yeah, I get depressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in the hospital.
And was that mostly UBC hospital or were there other hospitals too?
UBC, St. Paul's, BGH, I don't know, quite a few. Not quite a few hospitals, but quite a few times.
Yeah.
I went from Morris House into the hospital.
And then you often came back with one of the houses too.
Yeah. And then now since like 2004, I've been on the same medication. I've been in the hospital since, so finally after 25, 30 years, finally.
So what having lived through so many cycles and that you say you're now on medication, what is your perspective on medication then?
Well, I was on medication since I was like 18, but nothing they tried worked. And then when I ended up in the hospital in 2004, I went to UBC and I went to this some group thing. But anyway, I saw this lady and she put on the report from the mood disorder, And she put, when the new drug, Remeron comes out, that I should try that. And when it came out, they put me on it, and it's been fine since. I don't know why, but
That's great.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Has that changed your idea about, because there has been always quite some discussion about medication.
Oh, I used to hate it. I'd take it and just save up and take it all, or just take it all and not take it. I pretty well tried to take it, but it never worked, so,
This is different.
yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Gracie, just wait. Her buddies out there, okay.
Oh, okay. So how often do you come here then?
Crazy!
Take her for a few minutes.
Daisy, come.
Nope,
Thank
What's
you.
going on?
I'm in trouble. I'll get him talking. What, sorry.
Yeah. What was I talking about? In terms of, because that, I mean, I would say that's great that medication worked for you, but then how were you about that in the past, you and other people?
Me, I don't know, I tried to take whatever they said, and, because I wanted to get better, right, so I took it, and I went off lots of times, and I don't know, it just.
Now it's better, yeah.
Yeah, I just, I don't know, if something works, take it. Sometimes I wanna go off it still, and then I think, well, at least I can sleep, and I haven't tried to kill myself, you know, I end up in the hospital or anything, so why not?
Yeah, it's a good thing, yeah. And what, at the time you were beginning to be part of the MPA, how was it in the 80s? How were decisions made about what went on in the
Oh, back then was good. It was, they'd have the meetings like right in the drop-in, and the members would get to vote, and everything that went on basically was up to the members, whereas now, I haven't gone to meetings lately, but I know that it's not the same. Now it's like a board decides everything who doesn't even hang around here, you know?
Yeah.
So back then it was run by MPA, right, members, so
Yeah.
I found that a lot better. So that's why I haven't gone to any meetings, because it doesn't matter half the time what you vote on now, it's
You don't have
not your
that same
choice.
idea about
No,
what
no.
your participation,
no.
whether that matters or not. And then it mattered, really? Is that how you
Yeah,
felt?
members
Yeah.
voted and what they said went, whether,
And can you remember what kinds of decisions you had to make?
we'd vote on, sometimes it was simple things like you'd vote on like who's staff and who's doing stuff, who's going places, how the drop-ins run, what the rules were, everything, whereas now it's like, I guess government run more than anything, but,
Yeah.
so they make the rules.
Yeah. And has that influenced or changed how your involvement here, or do you still come?
Well, I find I don't go to the meetings much anymore because you don't get the same say you used to.
Yeah. But for other things it's worth coming for.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good things. I like coming here. Mostly feels relaxed.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry so much.
And that has always been the case for you?
Yeah, I mean, even coming here, I don't really socialize a heck of a lot, but I don't feel like I have to, you know, like you, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it's really stressful.
Not feeling that
If you don't,
pressure.
people don't care, you know, if you want to talk, you talk, if you don't, you
Yeah.
don't, so
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And they have lots of stuff to do. And play bingo and, you know, simple things, but gets me out of the house, like,
Yeah.
and my dog's allowed to come, so if they change that, I won't be coming either, so
Yeah.
they're waiting on some bureaucrats and the board to decide whether, and everyone loves Gracie, like people just
Yeah.
told me today, Gracie makes so many people happy, yet no, the members don't get to say, you know, so we'll see what happens, but haven't heard anything yet, so.
I can imagine. And so how old is Gracie then?
She's 2, I got her when she was 3 months.
And so pets are important then to you because you had the rat to
Yeah.
start with. How did you train that rat yourself?
No, I just got it. It was at a pet store, and my mom said she had a pet rat when she was a kid, so I thought I'd try it. It was cute. I just look at it. She was cute. It was had a short tail, so the tail was gone. But yeah, it was good.
Have you always had pets along?
I used to have cats because a lot of the apartments I lived in, you couldn't. They didn't want dogs, so I'd have cats. But it's the first dog I ever had, and best thing that ever happened to me.
Great.
Probably half the reason I'm not in hospitals anymore because I get out with her all the time. But
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
so.
And so, what are the things I have not asked about that come to your mind if you think about MPA and its history? Were you involved at all with like decisions on funding and money?
Well, yeah, the back then used to vote on what the money went for and what it was used for, and instead of, I don't know, you got to vote on what if it went, how much went for this and that, and camping and supplies or whatever. So it was good.
So that's quite important decisions then also
Yeah.
that meeting had to make. Not just only about rules, but also about funding.
Yeah, so it's like simple things. You got to. I feel like you're, not just a patient or something. You remember, like I don't know. It's different now. I mean, the staff here are really still really good. So, for the most part, I don't mind them.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I started using the computer when I first started going to MPA. Well, actually, back when it moved here, they got computers, and I never knew how to use a computer. And they had a program on there, and since then I know how to use a computer really well, just from using their training program they had on the computers here, which are a lot different than these. But yeah, it was really good.
Excellent. Yeah, that must have been the late 80s, early 90s then. When did they move here?
They moved here 86,
Yeah.
I think 86 or 84, something like that.
So they have computer training programs then, or
Well, it was on the computer. They would just had the
manual one?
Yeah.
Instructions
so
and so
that's
on.
how I learned to use the computer. I think that's how I typed on my resume to work here. So,
And is that still something people do here?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because it's a resource center, eh? So that's one of the resources there as well.
Yeah, I like it because I had the internet, but I can't afford it, so I would just do it here. I do my banking and stuff, and
Excellent.
it's good. Except they crashed again because guys keep going on and changing it to Chinese or something. I don't know. One guy was on the computer.com how to crash a computer, so.
And it happened.
Yeah, another crash. So,
Yeah. And so have you with people that you have learned to know over time from MPA that you hang out with, or that you consider your community?
I don't know if I hang around with, I mean, I talk to everybody that comes here, but I don't really hang out with people anymore because I don't drink and drug anymore, so I don't hang out with them, so that's the only reason I don't. I used to hang out with them all the time, like literally, so quite a few died from doing drugs around stuff, so.
Was that one of the reasons that you changed that?
No, I just, after I got my dog, I just decided didn't like it anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotta stay kind of straight for her. So it helps. And get out and walk more and stuff, so it gives you feel better, right? And I was always paranoid, so, not that I'm not paranoid, but it's a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot less, so.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That's really
I used to talk to some other people like Gwen, and there's a guy out there, George. He's been around since I've been around.
okay. We'll see if some other people
Yeah.
want to come in. Do you, are you done? Is there anything else?
I can't think of anything
Okay,
else.
great. Thank you so much. Yeah, just
Awesome.
quick. Thank you.
Thanks.
We really appreciate that too. And yeah, keep those, and if something comes up,